Well, I hope you weren't expecting Star Wars Eclipse or the Knights of the Old Republic remake to come out anytime soon, but at least we're getting release date leaks for other things. Welcome back to the channel, my name is Star. This is your one-stop shop for Star Wars video game content. At least it can be if we ever get some games. Star Wars Eclipse, remember this? It was announced way back in 2021 with this gorgeous cinematic trailer, which is definitely a trailer for a real game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right, and it's not just a soulless investor pitch, right? Right? The game's being made by Quantic Dream, who's known for titles like Detroit Become Human and Heavy Rain, and it's described as an action RPG title with many branching narrative paths. Cool. You'd think after 5 years of development they'd have something to show us by now. But apparently Star Wars Eclipse is still many years away from being a real thing. Insider Gaming published a report in early April that claimed development is, quote, very slow going, and that the game is still years off, according to one development source. Allegedly, a good chunk of the game is finished. We don't know exactly how much that means, but the big picture isn't looking that great. That same source said, quote, at this stage, the long-term outlook is less driven by creative capabilities and more by financial viability. They said, should spellcasters fail commercially, and they're referring to their upcoming title, Spellcaster Chronicles, NetEase is expected to reevaluate its commitment to the studio and could opt to discontinue further investment. Yikes. So the publisher might just pull the plug on Quantic Dream if the new game doesn't do well. The fate of Star Wars Eclipse is in the hands of an early access title that is currently sitting at a 61% positive rating on Steam. Yeah, don't get your hopes up, chat. The Knights of the Old Republic remake is in a similar situation. The last update we got was that it is simply, quote, still in development, that's all I can say, according to the chief creative officer of Saber Interactive. But what if I told you? Development might have moved to a different studio altogether, and that's why it's taking so long. I found this IGN report that said development had moved from Aspire Media, the original devs, to a new Siberian studio called Mad Head Games, and this was the first time I'd heard about this. I tried to fact check it, but the article that they sourced didn't verify the information. But I checked out Mad Head's site, and yeah, they are developing an unannounced AAA game based on a famous and beloved IP. They say it's the biggest project they've ever done, and they promise it will generate some serious hype. Take this with a healthy dose of skepticism. There doesn't seem to be any proof that this is in fact the KOTOR remake, but at least we have confirmation that the game is in still ongoing development. It just apparently keeps moving from studio to studio. That same IGN report said that Aspire Media was also talking about doing a Knights of the Old Republic 2 remake, which they had codenamed Juliet, and apparently it was going to be the exact same game as KOTOR 2. Same narrative structure, same mission structure, just with updated graphics, updated hardware, basically updated everything. It would be a remake in every sense of the word. So clearly, Knights of the Old Republic is on the brain over there. It's just a matter of when we'll see it. Who knows when the KOTOR remake will come out, or Star Wars Eclipse for that matter. But one game we know is coming out soon is one that I'm very excited for. Star Wars Galactic Racer is the new racing game from developer Secret Mode. These guys have done work on the Burnout series in the past, and some of the devs even worked on EA's Battlefront 2. This game was slated for release this year in 2026, but just the other day, the eagle eyes of Wario64 on X spotted a leaked release date for this game on Steam. The date will probably change now thanks to this leak, but the day that we were looking at getting Galactic Racer is October 6th, 2026, according to these screenshots showing Deluxe Edition upgrades. October is a really interesting month to release a Star Wars game. Squadrons came out in October of 2020, but both of EA's Battlefronts and Jedi Fallen Order released in November of their respective years. April and November are the usual release windows for big Star Wars projects, usually to line up with May 4th and the holidays. So we'll see if they commit to the October release. I am so hyped for this game though. We haven't had a good Star Wars racing game since Racer Revenge back in, 2002? Galactic Racer is going to boast an immersive campaign where we get to play as this lone pilot named Shade, where we have to take out our rival and help the organizer of the unsanctioned league that we're competing in. There's going to be branching narrative paths, and my favorite part about this game is the variety of vehicles that we get to race with. It's not just pod racers, but also land speeders, skim speeders, speeder bikes, and other repulsor craft from the Star Wars universe. We also get a mechanic who helps build us the ultimate racer. The campaign sounds awesome, and yes, for those wondering, there is of course going to be PvP online multiplayer, where 12 players can compete in a variety of game modes. I know that's one thing a lot of people were wondering about. Similar to Battlefront 2, which actually checks out considering some of the devs worked on both, there's also going to be an arcade mode that has time trials and other challenges, on top of a scenarios mode where we get to race under unique conditions like practice runs on new tracks or hardcore races that really test you. And I'm sure there's going to be so much more when the game releases. We'll have to see whether the October 6th date stays in place or if it gets moved. I'm suspecting it's going to get moved, but either way, we know for a fact this one is coming out in just a few months. The other game we know is on the way is Zero Company, the upcoming real-time strategy game by BitReactor. This is another one you should not sleep on, and it's likely going to release before Galactic Racer, even though we don't have a concrete date for this one either. And sadly, there hasn't been any leaked release dates for this one, but this is another exciting title that should get fans of the genre feeling some type of way. It's being made by the former XCOM devs, and it promises to be the next great strategy title after Empire at War, so if you're a fan of the genre, you should definitely check this one out. There's actually a lot of information about this game that's been coming out over the last few months, and I think I can piece together a couple really good videos just going over everything, the customizations, the classes, all that good stuff. So if you're interested in that kind of content, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to ring the bell to get notified, because YouTube doesn't like to send notifications out. I was thinking of talking about some of that stuff in this video, but I think I'm going to keep it just as a news update. We went over a good chunk of stuff that was new even to me before I went into this video, so I hope you found some value from it. There's no need to stretch this one out to 8 minutes, I don't got that much talking in me anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, it really goes a long way. Consider subscribing to the channel for more Star Wars video game content, and I hope you guys have a stellar rest of your day. This has been Star. Keep shining, baby.